Hello everyone, it is your boy Winster and I'm back at it again with another video. Today we are doing a combo tutorial for the branded Chimera strategy post-release of Age of Overlord, Yu-Gi-Oh's newest set. But before we get into the combo tutorial, guys, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on the notification bell, and that way you could stay up to date with all the beautiful content that drops on this channel. And be sure to check out all my other platforms down in the description box. Pull up to the Discord, let's talk. But let's get into today's combo tutorial. Age of Overlord introduced a new fusion monster for the branded Chimera strategy, and that is Berfilment, the mythical king of fan and beast. He is a win attribute level 6 fiend fusion monster. His requirements are just 2 monsters with different types, be it fiend, beast, or illusion. I'll go ahead and read his effect to you guys. This card name becomes Chimera, the flying mythical beast, while on field or in the graveyard. You could only use each of the following effects of this card once per turn. If this card is fusion summoned, you could send 1 beast, fiend, or illusion monster from your deck to the graveyard. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you could banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished beast, fiend, or illusion monsters except this card and special summon it. So that is a very powerful effect, right? Sending stuff to the graveyard, either they're beast, fiend, or illusion. There are a number of cards that you could send to the grave, so you could try to floodgate your opponent. But today we are going to be using Protector of the Sanctuary. It's a really old card. This card effect, as long as this card remains face up on the field, your opponent cannot draw a card except during their draw phase. It's also cards, so they wouldn't be able to draw anything. And then another piece of the puzzle is going to be one or the other. There are a number of ways to resolve this, but I want to make sure that we don't break, right? So we're going to be using Trap Tracks. Right, this card, target 1 monster you control, destroy it, and if you do, set 1 normal trap directly from your deck, except this card. It could be activated this turn. You could only activate 1 trap card for the rest of the turn. After this card resolves, you could only activate 1 trap track per turn. So the card that we are going to be trying to activate is Disturbance Strategy. This card reads, your opponent puts all cards in his or her hand back into his or her deck. The deck is then shuffled. Your opponent then draws the same number of cards that he or she put into her deck. I'm sure by now you guys are understanding where this is going. But the final piece of the puzzle is going to be Cornfield Kotal. He's going to be the starter of all this. And if you guys don't know what he does, I'll go ahead and break it down as we go along. Quick little side note, there are a couple of ways to get this active, right? You could play, of course, Trap Tracks. So you would play 3 of this and 1 of this, or you could go ahead and play Trap Tricks. I feel like you would brick a little bit more than you would when you would use these 2 cards, but that's just my personal opinion. Again, this is all preference. I just want to try to alleviate any kind of bricking. This is going to be a 2-card combo. The first step to the combo is we're going to activate Cornfield Kotal, and then we are going to discard, and this guy is going to allow us to search any illusion monster other than himself. This part is going to be very standard branded Chimeras combo. We're going to go ahead and search the Mirror Sword Knight. My opinion, he is the backbone of the whole strategy. This card is just so good. But we are going to normal summon after we draw him off of Kotal's effect. On the summon, we are going to activate his effect. He's going to allow us to special summon any monster that mentions Chimera Fusion in its card text. With that, we are going to summon Big Wing Berfilment. Like I said, this is going to be standard branded Chimera stuff. This is our hand, okay, guys? But Big Wing Berfilment is now going to activate. He's going to allow us to search 1 level 4 Beast and Chimera Fusion and/or. So you could search either. If you don't have both, or if you have 1, or depending on what you want to do, you could go ahead and search what you need. But in this case, we are going to search Chimera Fusion. And then we are going to search Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws. On res, we'll go ahead and activate Chimera Fusion. Because we are a turn player, we do have priority here. So we're going to go ahead and activate, and then we will fuse these 2 in our hand, the Big Wing Berfilment and the Gazelle. And then we are going to go into Chimera, the King of Phantom Beast. Realistically, you could put him anywhere, but I would definitely put him like right in the center. It's up to you where you want. There's no wrong answer. We have a couple of chain links to activate here, but this is all your preference. But this is how I would personally chain everything. I'll activate Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws, to search any illusion monster. We're going to do Chain Link 1. Big Wing Burfleman as Chain Link 2, targeting the Mirror Sword Knight to special summon it. And Chain Link 3, the Chimera, the King of Mythic Phantom Beast. At the end phase, it resolves. Our opponent's going to discard a card at random from their hand. So the reason I do it this way is because I want to make sure I optimize all my resources, right? I want to fill my hand up and the field. It's impossible to Ash or Ghost Spell these cards when they are not the last Chain Link that resolves. So that's how I would personally do it. So Chain Links resolve backwards. 3, 2, and then 1. Now here, you could go ahead and add a multiple of things. You could add another Cornfield Kodo, or you could add Mirror Sword Knight. You could do whichever that you need. Considering that you already have one Cornfield Kodo on the grave and one Mirror Sword Knight on the field, you have those cards in rotation already. Personally, I would just add the Cornfield Kodo. That way, next turn, you have follow-up, right? You have a one card that sets all this back up. So we're going to go ahead and add that back to our hand. On res, we are going to activate Chimera Fusion. Because we control Chimera, we can add this back to our hand. And I'm sure that you guys know that Chimera Fusion, the fusion effect, is not once per turn. So we're going to go ahead and activate that. And we are going to fuse these two. We are going to go into the new Burfleman, the Mythical King of Phantom Beasts. Now we have a effect that we're going to activate. We're going to send any fiend, beast, or illusion monster from the deck to the graveyard, and that's where we are going to send, and that is where we're going to send Protector of the Sanctuary, because he is a fiend, and he's an earth. That's also something to take note. You won't be able to get disrupted by our opponent's Bestios. Even though Bestios aren't super popular, they're still common enough where they could present a problem. They can Bestial the Mirror Sword Knight as you're like activating everything, but still you could still fuse with the Cornfield Kodo that's in your hand, so this play will still be able to resolve. And now what we will do is we will set our trap tracks. We're going to set that down, and then here we will go ahead and pass turn. Our opponent will discard a card, and now we would on top of that get all of the knowledge that we would get from what they discard. We would go ahead and pass turn. Now before we move into our opponent's turn, guys, be very, very cautious. You do not want to start triggering anything during the draw phase. Let our opponent go into standby phase and then start activating. And chain links are very, very important. So once our opponent goes into the standby phase, we will go ahead and activate trap tracks. We will target our own monster and we will tribute it on resolution. On resolution, it will tribute. And then we will go ahead and set one trap card, and then we will go ahead and set one trap card on our side of the field, and it will be able to be activated. So you need to make sure that you ask them, do you have anything else in your standby phase? They still have priority because they're a turn player. If they do not, you will now start activating all your effects. So as Chain Link 1, you will go ahead and activate Disturbance Strategy. It's really important this be the first chain that you do. For example, if your opponent did have something, you need to make sure that this is the first card that you activate, okay? So we'll go ahead and activate Disturbance Strategy. Your opponent must shuffle all their cards into their deck and then draw the same number of cards after they shuffled, okay? So we need to go ahead and make sure that's Chain Link 1 on our side. If they don't have anything, we will then activate Chimera, the King of Phantom Beast. We will banish it as cost. We will target the Protector of the Sanctuary that's in the grave. And then as our next chain, if our opponent did not have anything, or even if they did, our next chain will be Burfleman. We will banish as cost, target the Chimera that's in our grave to special summon it. Because you do have the ability to, because this is banished as cost, and this activates the special summon that. Now let's say if this is our last chain link, even if our opponent continue to chain link without getting rid of any of our stuff or stopping our monsters from summoning, we will resolve all the chains. This resolves because this is our last chain that we did. This will bring this out. Our next chain in the chain link that ended up happening, we will now special summon the Protector of the Sanctuary. And then our last chain in this whole big chain, even if it was like up to chain 20, right? The last thing that we activated is Disturbance Strategy. So now our opponent will shuffle all their cards back into their hand and then start drawing the cards. However, our opponent will not be able to draw anything because we are in standby. Protector of the Sanctuary is going to prevent our opponent from drawing any type of cards. So this will all resolve. Now our opponent has no cards in their hand. But that is going to be it for today's combo tutorial, guys. Let me know what you guys think of this combo. I think, honestly, it is a viable strategy, right? I think there are other floodgates that you could put out with Branded Chimera. But this one is pretty simple, and it does get around a lot of popular cards right now. It gets around Bestials. It gets around Super Poly. It gets around so many options. Again, if you chain link things properly, our opponent won't be able to interrupt us mid combo where they would be able to stop this. And once this resolves, guys, our opponent's not going to be able to play. Like I said in the beginning, there are multiple ways to actually play this. You do not have to play the trap tracks. You could play trap tricks. I just find it a little bit more useful because you tribute this guy off. And even in the situation where you play trap tricks, you don't tribute it off, you're going to be able to still activate all the cornfield and mirror sword knight effects in the grave. Let me know what you guys think of the combo tutorial. Let me know if you guys decide to use this. What do you guys think about it? Is there a more optimal way to do this? Let me know in the comment section, guys. Do not forget to like, do not forget to comment, do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bells.